Coming to you live and from the prideful side, you're listening to OMP Unplugged, Organic Music Podcast Unplugged, and I am your organic host, Gabriel Dean. Brought to you by USWC.rocks and PyRank.com. We will be talking to singer, songwriter, musician, and artist Dorie Pride. What inspires you to write these beautiful songs? And they really are beautiful.
Thank you so much. What inspires me to write is life. Life and the intention of being able to wake people up who are walking around in comas. It is the desire to express love through the thing that I know most, and that is my heart. And my heart and my voice are connected. So when I am singing, I'm singing from a place of truth based on what I'm looking at. Sometimes my stories come from people. Sometimes my stories come from me. Sometimes it's a tapestry of different people's stories that I weave into one storyline, and that's where it comes from. The pain of life many times brings me to a place of telling a story. Like when I think about Katrina and all that went on there, Love Will Find a Way, that's where that came from. When I think about 9/11, A Little Rain Must Fall, that came from there. And my grandmother saying, darling, in everybody's life, some rain must fall. You got to always know who you are. And you got to always know that there's always somebody worse off than you. Count your blessings. I once cried because I had no shoes until I saw the man that had no feet. Well, my grandmother was my sage. And so that was if we want to go back, that's where it all
began.
And she is the rock. She was the rock of my life. So it's like, when you leave this earth, make sure, I'll be her. When you leave this earth, make sure that you did everything that you could do, that you could help somebody, one somebody. If you could help one somebody, your living won't be in vain. Well, looking at it like that, how could I not do what I'm doing now when that's the root of everything?
Dorie, let's step back for just a second and talk about your musical influences. You talk about the Beatles and Joni Mitchell, Ray Charles, and Annie Lennox, just to mention a few. How have they influenced you?
Oh, that's easy. Okay, Ray Charles influenced me because that's the soul of my soul. Because when I came into the world, my mother was playing Ray Charles, and she played Ray Charles until she took off her earth suit. so that's the root right there. And then when I look at the Beatles, I just, oh my God, they were like a musical, how can I say it, blueprint of what pure music, the revolution of music is. Because if you think about it, before the Beatles, music was very, very, very different. You think about the synthesizers, and you think about George Martin and what he did, how he revolutionized music. They put a whole different tapestry on the music that could never have been what it is today if it weren't for them, in terms of how music went from Pat Boone to the Beatles as we know it. But I'm looking at the Beatles because for me, I can't tell you how they motivated me to write songs, melody and stories that make you feel good, and stories that could make you feel sad. And they would take stories that we live every day and put a pop melody or a rock melody under it and get you to singing the song in a way that allows you to be able to know that hook, and you're singing it all day long and it's making you feel good. Or songs that are kind of what's the word I'm looking for, unusual. Strawberry Fields Forever. We're singing that song, and what do we know with that? Do we know what that is? But you know, Annie Lennox. I love Annie Lennox. I love her voice and her passion and her theatrical presentation when she sings her songs, and who she is as a human being, as a humanitarian, and owning herself. And not, she's a purple sheep too.